Yo, what's good, y'all? I was asked for a while to do more sports related videos, especially with basketball, and I will. I have a lot of things to say, a lot of things I won't say, but on some real talk, I like talking about various issues and whatnot. Who's better than whom and what, and this and that, and my views on different controversial issues and different historical discussions and debates and whatnot. This time, I decided to talk about a subject that is often touched upon in NBA history but is not accurately addressed. And it is the top 10 worst departures. Now, this video will be, I guarantee you, have some in here that are surprising. People might be even shocked by some of these. Some of these are some of the most documented, some of the, seemingly heinous, most villainous moves ever made. Some of these pulled on the heartstrings, maybe. So without further ado, let us begin. Coming in at number 10, Magic Johnson forced to retire because of HIV. Now, this gets on the list because Magic Johnson, not only is he one of the most iconic figures in sports history, one of the most global icons when it comes to sports history in terms of the game of basketball, the sport of basketball, but also at the time and HIV being what it was. And I mean, if you ever watch, the 30 for 30 on the matter, it gives a great insight for those like myself who aren't old enough to remember the time, in the era that it was. And, it helped, it's a blessing in disguise. As ugly as it is and as screwed up as the situation was, it helped to progress and bring forth a lot of education about a subject that was very taboo, very fringe, very, uncomfortable for the United States at the time, specifically, and eventually the world. So, I mean, you're cutting short the career of one of the all-time great legends, who I have as number 2, the second greatest player in basketball history, at least in regards of the NBA. So, take that for what it's worth. I really think that departure, also it ended an era, and it helped usher in a new era. It impacted the game of basketball on so many levels. Coming in at number 9, another sad one, you can say. I have to go with, is he number 8 or number 9? Number 8 and number 9, I think I'll stick with it. Brandon Roy's retirement. Brandon Roy, and I don't say this very often, this man had so much potential to bring to the table. This young man faced what, athletes, when you're young, you don't really think about it unless you deal with sickness and illness and things of that matter. But what you don't want as an athlete, to be forced out before your time and without your choice. You have no say in the matter. When your body begins to break down, the debilitation, of Brandon Roy's, I believe it was the knees, if I recall. Brandon Roy was better potential than Russell Westbrook, than Derrick Rose. He was future. Oh my goodness, the Trailblazers. So much craziness, man. He could have brought to the game. Imagine Brandon Roy in this era. You got LeBron James, Harden, D Wade, Melo, of course the babyface assassin Steph Curry, Russell Westbrook, you name it, all these players, DeMarcus Cousins, a lot of people hype up Anthony Davis, you name it, and throwing Brandon Roy in the mix, along with maybe a backcourt with Damian Lillard. That would have been too nasty, too disgusting. Whole different story. Shoot, Portland might have been the super team before Golden State developed. So it would have been very interesting. Kevin Durant, so many moves could have been made just with his, and the game of basketball would have been so much different. It would have been so exciting. It would have been so much fun to watch. This man's explosive capabilities were phenomenal, and it's just a shame to lose someone to, a condition that he can't fight against. You can't just get surgery for this kind of stuff. It will continually, progressively get worse. And it's not even fault of time. It's nothing. It's just a condition the young man had, which is truly sad. Coming in at number 8, his airness. Michael Jordan's second retirement. The one most people remember. Not the first one, where he went and played baseball and he had good reasons. Not the third one, where he was done in his old age. But the second one. What was so bad about the second one? Okay? It cut him during his prime. They had just won another three-peat. Okay? All the elements that went into his retirement, Phil Jackson leaving the Bulls, Sky Moon, all that, the breakdown, it makes no sense. It brings one to question, do people care about winning more than other elements? It's really astounding. Michael Jordan going out at that point in his career. And it's not like on some Barry Sanders status either, where, Barry Sanders, 9 years, beat up, had given pretty much everything, and he just went out like he saw fit. I mean, you could say, yeah, he went out on top, but who knows how much more the man could have given to the game of basketball. He did come, and see, here's the thing, he comes back a few years later, and was still playing well, arguably balling. Now, he clearly wasn't his prime state, and he wasn't probably even the top 15 player by that point in his career, but he could still play better, and he could still teach. There's so much more that Michael Jordan had to offer the game. I mean, we did get to see, others rise, and it would have been really interesting to see, during the young career of Kobe, AI, Tim Duncan. It would have been very interesting to see the battles that would have happened. So, which is a shame, it's truly a shame. It really is. Coming in at number 7, Larry Bird's another forced retirement. Another iconic basketball figure, Larry the Legend. And you can say, well, why is Magic so low compared to Larry's? This man gave up his body, okay? Unlike Magic, who was forced out because of disease, this man, Larry Bird, went out like a warrior. This man gave up his body, his back just, kind of like Brandon Roy, his back just debilitating. He wasn't exactly at the end of his career. He was just exiting his prime, if you will. And the man just couldn't go anymore. He played till he could not go. Much respect to that. And that also helped end that era. And usher in too rapidly, if you will. Him and Magic having to retire, forced retirement in their prime, if Magic would have left alone, that would have been one thing. The fact that Bird had to go about the same time, that was the nail in the coffin to that era, and ushered in the Jordan era's dominance, too prematurely, if you will. The bad boys got crippled and whatnot already. You had the Trailblazers. A new era was rushed in too rapidly. You usually don't see eras. You usually see either pass of the baton or, a smooth transition. It wasn't a smooth transition in the late 80s, early 90s because of various events such as Larry Bird's. So his departure from the game of basketball left. Still, we're feeling the effects of Larry Bird to this very day of Larry Bird's departure. Magic Johnson's was one thing. It was a disease. Larry Bird going out because his body broke down on him, that can also be attributed to why players, they take off and may not go as hard because they see dudes like Larry and they're like, yo, we ain't trying to, Bill Walton and others. Larry was just, the most pronounced of them. You had Bill Walton and others, Sam Bowie, you name it, now you even have Yao Ming and such modern examples. So those kind of impacts really change the psyche of the next generation. When you watch iconic stars go down like that, It's rough, man. It's rough. Now, from this point on, no more of the, this kind of sad bad one. Now here comes the really bad stuff. The stuff that most people could think of when they think of the worst. Again, this was the top 10. So, the bottom are, they're bad, but, now it's, oh my goodness. Coming in at number 6. It's Allen Iverson's departure. Now, Allen Iverson never had a great departure from anywhere, for the most part, in the NBA. But there's one that sticks out. It's not his leaving Philly, surprisingly enough. Philly still loves him. No, it's not leaving Denver. It was a trade with Chauncey Billups. It made sense. No, it's not leaving Memphis. Memphis is notorious for doing this. Rudy Gay, you name it. It was him leaving Detroit, Motown. Made no damn sense, to the same point of why. I mean, there was a whole load of foolishness which deserves its own separate video. And I've talked about this slightly, I think, when I did my video about Allen Iverson's legacy a couple years back, okay? Like 3 years ago. Yo, Detroit. And we still see Detroit to this very day. Barely can make a playoffs. Detroit isn't dominant. You chose Rodney Stuckey over a confirmed future Hall of Famer. Confirmed. One of the greatest, who I have as number 5 all time, pound for pound, the best basketball player ever played. You chose Rodney Stuckey? You want this man to sit behind that? No offense to Stuckey, but come on. That's like asking Michael Jordan in his prime to sit behind freaking... Who can I even compare this to? Who can I compare this to? There is no comparison, because it makes no sense logically. It made no damn sense. Him leaving Detroit was the nail in the coffin for Detroit getting back to relevance. Anytime in the next, who knows? You don't do that. Who wants to play for that kind of organization that gets rid of legends, icons? Nah, bro. That screwed over Detroit. Pistons fans, blame that move. Blame that move. That is one of the worst moves in NBA history. Period. Point blank simple. The departure of Allen Iverson. And that also, not only did it bring a death toll to the Pistons, organization. Nah, the Pistons organization ain't nowhere near like Sixer level at this point. But it helped screw up an era. Because you still had Kobe, you still had, the Black Mamba, you still had the true Paul Pierce, you still had KG, Kevin Garnett, and so many others. The big fundamentalist Tim Duncan. And you have a legend not playing along with the other legends? Nah, bro, that's whack. That's whack. I don't think you see that in any other era previously. That's whack. That's whack. That hurt the NBA. That move alone hurt the NBA. What it is, man. What it is. Coming in at number 5. Which of these deserves the 5? I think I gotta put it. It's a very recent one. Some of these will be very recent. Okay. Coming in number 5, it is Dwayne Wade's departure to Chicago. Now I know Chicago fans are gonna. You gotta understand this, and you can say, "Well, here's your biases," and there's no bias involved. From a basketball perspective, this hurts the game of basketball. Dwayne Wade, I can understand moving on, cap space and all that. Dwayne Wade should have ended his career in Miami, just like Kobe ended his career in LA. When you're iconic with a franchise, and I know he's going home, but I look, basketball fans gotta know that this one hurt. This one hurt for all. It's like Jordan, Jordan, even though he went to Washington, that was after a few years retirement. Most people think of, Jordan with Chicago, iconically so. Paul Pierce for many years with Boston. Even though they not necessarily ended their careers, you associate. Dwayne Wade is associated with Miami. Alonzo Mourning associated, even though he began his career in Charlotte. Tim Hardaway associated with Miami. They may have played elsewhere, but they are associated with it. Okay, they're not like Shaq who moved around a few teams. As legendary as he was with the Lakers, he's memorable also in Orlando. I understand that. You just can't get around it. Like, How do you let that happen? Pat Riley and the Heat organization. How do you not understand? This man who been a part of 3 championships, who will lead you at least to 1. Okay? Who y'all got to the 5 finals. If I not recall. Yeah, 5. Because they lost 2, won 3. How? How does that happen? This is not good for just like the Allen Iverson departure. This is not good for the game of basketball in the future, in this era. No, this is bad. This is bad business. This is just bad all the way. This just leaves a bad taste in mouth. Now, if he left Chicago, because that's where he wanted to go home, fine. But don't leave on bad terms. That's not good. And I'm pretty sure they welcome D-Wade in, but I'm pretty sure Chicago fans, even they have to admit that's not how they wanted it. You never want a player to leave like that. Never. It's ugly, man. It's ugly. Coming in at number 4. And it's not for the reasons a lot of people think. LeBron's departure to Miami. Okay. Again, a lot of people, he shouldn't have left. No, he was chasing championship. You gotta respect that. And you wait, the way he went out. No. It's not the fact. It's the impact of the league and how they reacted. Now, the reason I say it's one of the worst is because of the media, the mainstream media, and the fans. Quote unquote fans. Okay? It divided basketball. That's how this move should have not divided basketball. It should have been praised. Free agency, a man making his own decision, him going, them constructing their team. It should have been praised. But instead, it had the exact adverse effect. Where dudes were hating this man for no damn reason. This man who given 7 years to a team, who gave his heart, so who made Cleveland relevant, that took them to an NBA Finals. The second man to single-handedly do that behind Allen Iverson back in 01 with the Sixers, 76ers. This move just happened to be so divisive in NBA history. That's why it gets on this list at number 4. Coming in at number 3, Shaq's departure to Miami. There's so much, and I could say so many things, even in a separate video about this. Now, I was on the side of Kobe. A lot of people, now I'm more neutral. A lot of people on the side of Shaq. The mainstream media helped spurn that. Kobe and Shaq, the 2 battles of the Alpha Dog. I think the mainstream media made a mountain out of molehills. The same thing they did with Larry Brown and Allen Iverson. Phil Jack. It just, you had the greatness of the Lakers dynasty. And you had so much set up, and to see that just torn apart for no good reason, you cannot justify Shaq leaving. If Shaq leaves, whatever. I mean, even you can say, yeah, I got a championship, but there was a lot that went into that. But still, again, this is not biased. It was not good for the game of basketball. It was really bad for the game of basketball. It hurt the image of the game of basketball, and you can say it helped allowed the league to make the league soft. The association to make the league soft. The front office helped make the league. You can say, how do you even correlate? When you tear apart greatness and allow it, the mainstream media to spin the way they want, and now they influence, and you're getting to people's minds, you're getting to players. Now players and coaches can't speak, and just a whole bunch, they get in their tentacles, and they're legitimately affecting how the league goes, and they're affecting policy within the association. No, that's bad business. That's bad for business, and that's bad for basketball. And it helped make the league soft, because now when your greatest players are belittled, who can say and fight against that kind of influence? Coming in at number 2, very recent yet again, Kevin Durant's departure, and again to Golden State. It is not, and I will speak on this in different videos, 2 different videos dedicated in correlation to this. It's not because I actually am completely fine with him going to Golden State, completely, for a multitude of reasons. In fact, actually 3 videos may be fine, because one of them will actually deal with his move, and then a couple will be correlated. It's the fact, again, even worse than LeBron's repercussion, the fact of people, this showing in generational, you've seen a lot of divisiveness to the point of, like, this should be appreciated. The man made a move. We're seeing greatness. We're simulating. We want to see big, powerful teams. But the man is being villainized and demonized. And the issues in OKC are just being covered up. I'm going to address that in the video. The issues in the league are being covered up yet again. And we are making a villain. Just like LeBron was made a villain. Just like other people were made villains. Because we don't want to accept the reality of the NBA history and of how dominant the super teams. So what this is this is becoming the poster child for everything wrong in NBA history. This is the debacle because the mainstream media is painting things one way. You have, they've painted this narrative, this false narrative, and it's infected a lot of fans' minds to where they don't see the reality and the truth behind the association. So the association gets off scot-free and is praised and keeps ranking in while players are being vilified. It's not right, it's not fair, it's wrong, and it's turning the view of how this dude was into now just this despicable person, which he doesn't deserve. He has done nothing to deserve that. He's finally able to speak out, and he's speaking out of frustration, partially because of the mainstream media. Again, I'm linking the mainstream media and the association. Once again, a lot of these problems are linked and they're continually snowballing, and people don't want to call out the problem for what it is, the multitude of problems, which I shall be dealing with. I definitely will be addressing in weeks to come. You best believe that. And finally, the absolute worst departure. You say, how can you beat the Kevin Durant departure? It is a departure that's so disgusting. It changed my entire perspective of the league. I knew things were bad. Dudes get traded on days notice and stuff. We know it's business and whatever. But you can't even justify this one. Shawn Marion, the Matrix, his departure from Phoenix. The man who was part of the real core three, the big three, if you will. Steve Nash, Amari Stoudemire, and Shawn Marion. This man helped put Phoenix on the map when it hadn't been on the map for pretty much since Jay Kidd, Thunder Dan Martin, those days, and really Charles Barkley. But the Suns hadn't been nothing, really. This man stayed. I think he was an all-star and whatnot. This man didn't even get told. They didn't even tell this man. This man found out on SportsCenter or such like that. How? This just shows the ugliness. And this, remember our passes I was talking about throughout this entire video that the association gets? This is what I'm talking about. Y'all get mad at Kevin Durant and such, LeBron, for making their own moves. But the teams are allowed to do this. And you can say, yeah, they have the right to trade him. They didn't even let the man know he was being traded. This ain't the only time. I've heard plenty of horror stories. Dudes didn't even know. They showed up and found out they weren't even on a team anymore. Shawn Marion is the worst because this dude was no name. This was an all-star, a core member of the team. Arguably one of the best players in the league at that time. And this man didn't even tell this man anything. That's ridiculous. And others may disagree with me. To me, that's the worst. You don't even have... See, now the players, when that Shawn Marion trade did, you know what that did? That says the players now are saying, we have no loyalty to the not the ownership. We don't have loyalty to teams because teams have no loyalty to us. That's why you get LeBron James, Kevin Durant, and D-Wade, and others moving because they have no interest in us. They have no, they go with what they go with, and when they have no use for you, then they'll treat you like Shawn Marion. When they don't, have not just any use, when they don't find you as truly valuable, bada bing, bada boom. James Harden, anybody? unexpected one in my comments. Subscribe. Tell me your thoughts. What is your top 10 list of the worst departures in NBA history? Whether it be sad, whether it just be controversial, whether it be just horrible business moves on the part of the NBA or players or whatever. Tell me. I'm very curious to hear what you have to say. All right, y'all.